Welcome to Books in Some, your go-to for bite-sized book summaries.
Sex at Dawn by Christopher Ryan and Cacilda Jethá. Sex at Dawn is an alternative view on the evolution of human sexual behavior, exploring why monogamous relationships tend to be doomed from the outset, how casual sex was crucial to our ancestors' survival, why women moan loudly during sex, why agriculture ruined our health and happiness, and how the sexual and social behavior of our ancestors is similar to that of chimps and bonobos today. It argues that humans evolved in small, hypersexual communities where casual sex was the norm, and that sexual promiscuity was the norm in the tribes of our early ancestors, and even in certain indigenous communities today. Sex was seen as a community resource, and both males and females would engage in sexual intercourse with whomever they desired. Since the invention of agriculture, many cultures and religions have attempted to diminish our desire for sex and promote monogamy, but the human sex drive continues to express itself. For example, the Romans considered monogamy to be unnatural, and it was customary for the bride to take part in an orgy just before the wedding. In some tribes in South America, paternity of a single child is shared among many men, even at the moment of conception. The Ake tribe, for example, believe in 4 types of fathers for each child: the one who put it in, those who mixed it, who spilled it out, and those who supplied the child's essence. Therefore, Ake women are encouraged to have sex with and collect semen from various men. Sexual promiscuity helped our ancestors survive by sharing fatherhood among the group and strengthening social ties. The most important details in this book are that casual sex strengthens bonds within the group, and that homosexuality is just another aspect of sexual socializing. This raises the question of how humans ended up living in dysfunctional monogamous couplings and demonizing promiscuity. The most important idea is that agriculture was one of the worst things to happen to humanity, as it fostered possessiveness, jealousy, and greed. Prior to agriculture, our ancestors had little to be greedy about, as they shared whatever food they found. However, farming created the possibility for humans to become sedentary, and along with that came the idea of ownership and prosperity. As human greed was activated, sexual expression and the status of women suffered greatly. For the wealthy farmer, it became important to be certain of which children were his, so that his property would remain in the family after his death. To force women into fidelity, public shaming, brute physical force, or legal institutions were used. The modern idea that the female libido is weaker than the male's is not true. In a recent study, a group of men and women, both hetero and homosexual, were asked to watch various erotic films and indicate how aroused they felt. The results showed that while men and homosexual participants reacted most strongly to scenes featuring their preferred gender, heterosexual women were physically excited by a greater variety of images. Despite this, the sexual desires of women are more readily circumscribed by social pressure. This study suggests that both men and women evolved to be promiscuous creatures, which may lead to our evolutionary history that led to that tendency. Our closest primate relatives display social and sexual behavior similar to ours, and humans share close ancestry with many primates, and are the closest genetically to chimps and bonobos. Bonobos and chimps are 2 primates that have very active and promiscuous sex lives. They live in small, tight-knit communities with complex social relations, and use sex to mediate conflicts between males. The human male's genital anatomy reveals that we evolved in a competitive mating system, with the human penis being the largest of all in the primate kingdom, and the male testes being large and located outside the body to keep a large amount of sperm cells at their optimal temperature. These features evolved to perform a specific function in our ancestors' environment, since in prehistory, females would copulate with many men, particularly when they were fertile. The shape of the human penis, thrusting motion during sex, and the first spurts of semen contain chemicals that protect the man's sperm from chemicals in other men's sperm. The height difference between men and women most closely reflects multi-male, multi-female mating, which has led to body size dimorphism and behavioral oddities. Women today still display behavior suggesting their ancestors would have sex with many males in quick succession, but this practice is still seen in many promiscuous animals, such as the bonobo. Another remnant of our promiscuous past is that women take longer to reach orgasm than men, and are able to produce more sperm than men. The idea that true love means lifelong monogamy is a source of despair and disease. Our ancestors evolved to have sex with anyone they like, and we are biologically programmed to seek out sex with many different partners. However, the messages of romantic comedy and Western love story and the actual experience of being in a monogamous relationship can lead to profound unhappiness. Studies have shown that men in long-term monogamous relationships suffer a big drop in their testosterone levels, which can lead to potentially fatal diseases. it is nearly impossible to reconcile our evolutionary nature with monogamy. The breakdown in our traditional understanding of love is due to the disparity between our culture's promotion of monogamy and our actual, biological desire for sex with different people. To bridge the gap, we should start by talking about it openly and questioning popular misconceptions. Additionally, couples should talk openly about their sexual desires and fantasies, and a wider acceptance of masturbation and adolescent sexual relations would help people deal with the hormonal upheaval that occurs in their teenage years. Taking pleasure from one's own body is especially critical while going through puberty, as levels of sex hormones are far higher than at other times of life. Adolescents should receive a broad education on sexuality and be encouraged to experiment with whatever sexual acts they feel comfortable engaging in. It is important to remember that sex is merely a biological impulse and should not be confused with the mutual understanding, affection, and intellectual connection characteristic of long-term relationships. The monogamous mating system based on the nuclear family structure is culturally constructed and doesn't fit with our natural tendencies. Actionable advice is to opt for a more relaxed, casual, and liberal approach to sexuality, such as having an open and honest conversation with your partner and considering alternatives to sexual exclusivity and the nuclear family household.
We hope you found this summary helpful in your listening journey. If you're interested in diving deeper into the topic or getting your hands on the whole book, be sure to check the description below where we've included links to the book and other related products that may be useful to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest book summaries, and feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions or requests for books you'd like us to cover. Thanks again for tuning in and happy listening.